Now your audience knows you watch cartoons.
But hold on,
Hide under a
cartoons.
rock.
You sound like a baby boomer. No, but hold on. Let me just flush this through. When Cyclops took his glasses off, kill everybody in the room. When you put your glasses on, you kill everybody in the room.
That's why I got him on.
Opposite Cyclops.
Look at
Tom,
that.
I see that you got the Giants hoodie on, so let's get kicking. Dable still retains his job. Everybody in that place has retained their job. What's going on?
They have to. I mean, we all saw the NFL behind the scenes with Hard Knocks. John Mara gave the kind of stamp of approval on the Saquon. It all blew up in their face. This is a team, so if Daboll goes, then Schoen's got to go. Vice versa. They were brought in to kind of work with Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes was running for his life for the past 3 years and got hurt, didn't come back the same, and now it's the hunt for a QB.
When they
So.
say that, it knocks your franchise back years. They're not kidding. So when that Danny Dimes contract was up, and for 40 million, if you look at the money that they're giving people around the NFL, that's not bad. Okay. But Danny Dimes completely ruined them. And I can't get too much on their general manager for not retaining Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is a complementary piece to a team that needs to take the next step or is away from winning. Like, it's like a
I
Marshall
don't know
Faulk,
about
you
that.
know?
I don't know. No, Saquon Barkley's the man.
If you have no offensive line, so, okay, hold on. Let me just prove my point. Saquon Barkley goes to the Eagles. He almost breaks the single season rushing record. Okay, he's on the Giants for years and doesn't live up to his billing. So what I'm saying is that the Giants suck. They're terrible. And you take a running back on a shitty team like Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, you switch them on the two teams. Give Barry Sanders the offensive line that Emmitt Smith had. We're
Yeah, I
talking
mean
about,
the Super Bowls on Super Bowls.
so Saquon Barkley, the Eagles are a Super Bowl contender. Then they add Saquon Barkley. So I think it is the complementary piece that they're doing it. So I can't blame him for not keeping that. You would have kept Saquon Barkley then?
Well, what I got from Hard Knocks is that Saquon fucked the Giants. Excuse my language. Schoen said, "Go out there, go see what you could get in free agency, come back, and then we could have a conversation." Saquon wasn't man enough to own up and say, "Hey, Philly offered me 214, whatever they offered him." He just accepted the offer without coming back to Schoen and allowing Schoen and the Giants to propose a counter proposal.
So
That's what
the
I took from Hard Knocks. So in my eyes, Schoen got blindsided by Saquon.
But then I also remember watching the same program, and I remember the owner sitting in his office going, "You sure about this? You sure about that?
He's sure
You
about that.
sure about letting him walk out the door?" And he did for $16 million. And the Eagles are probably going to the Super Bowl because of this dude. The dude
I don't
just
know if they're going to the
almost
Super
broke
Bowl, but
the single season record. And if he didn't get sat yesterday, all he needed was like 140 yards. I'm not going to get him on them too much for that because I think Saquon, they're a quarterback. They need a quarterback. They need so many more pieces. He did have a pretty good draft this year, the general manager. So I will give him that. He did get six pieces that are players. And Dable won Coach of the Year 2 years ago. So it's not like he forgot how to coach overnight. But
yeah, I mean they're in decent shape. I don't think that it's a complete train wreck. I think they're in good shape. They need a quarterback, and I don't think they could get any. And there's no quarterbacks in free agency coming up. If you're going to trade, you're going to trade a bunch of pieces. I don't think that works in the NFL anymore. I think you got to go through the draft. You know, I like this Cam Ward kid. Bring in Cam Ward. He's ready. His body's ready. Pause. And
all right, yeah. Let's
let's go
let's
for a Super Bowl.
let's talk about Cam Ward. So he reminds me of the arm. I'm going to say he reminds me of. Remember EJ Manuel, who played for the Buffalo Bills, played for Florida State, took over for Jameis Winston. Big guy, huge arm, could throw the ball out the. He was on Buffalo before they got Josh Allen. So he never panned out to anything. That's why you're looking up at this, looking up at the wall like you not prepared for a science report. But I don't know, man. Both of those quarterbacks do not do anything for me. They don't look. The Colorado quarterback Ward. I mean, I think that's a desperate move. I think it is.
What are they going to do?
retain Drew Lock for another. They're not winning the Super Bowl next year or
Fucking
making the playoffs.
Drew Lock. I got to hear this guy's name
No, no,
like
no.
he's
What I'm
some
saying,
tangible piece. When he had one good game. Before this, every other game he played, he was horrendous.
I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, Tom. I'm saying your franchise is terrible.
It's
So
not terrible. I don't think it's terrible.
no, no, your franchise, I said, is terrible. Okay. So Drew Lock, I said, can be your quarterback next. I don't know what you're doing. You just stuck up for him and then defend it. Like, what was that? I said
What do you
Drew
mean?
Lock could be your quarterback, and then you're like, no, Drew Lock. And then you want Drew Lock?
Well, you're saying retain Drew Lock like he's the guy that's going to
He's
come
not.
in
I'm not
and
saying he is. And then I said your
oh, that's what
franchise
I
sucks.
thought. That's what I thought you were going with.
No,
Like
your
Drew
franchise
Lock's the
sucks.
guy.
That's why I want you to retain him because you're not winning the Super Bowl or making the playoffs next year.
I don't necessarily know that. I think the Giants have a good defense.
So you're a Homer Giant fan? Is that what it is?
God, you're just gonna fucking light me on fire
No,
here.
no, no. I really
Listen,
want. I want to get to the
I
bottom of this
think the
because
Giants have pieces to the puzzle. I don't think it's a complete dumpster fire. And I feel as if the Giants are a few pieces away. They have a lot of cap room. They have money to spend. They can get defensive pieces in free agency. They got neighbors. They could go and get T. Higgins and have a 1-2 punch. All they need is a quarterback with a cannon. Bring in Cam Ward. Let's run the offense. Cam Ward's built like Josh Allen. Dayball, he'll feast on him. We'll run offenses like Buffalo does, and next thing you know, we're prancing into the Super Bowl, hoisting up another trophy.
you just convinced me. I
You
mean,
like that? I
I
worked
actually
on
text.
that one.
I
I
have
worked on that
no
one.
lie. In all, I
Yeah,
kind of just got fired up.
yeah, I'm fired up too.
Could you put the red glasses on and,
Yeah,
and give the
that's
same
that's
thing?
why I wrote it's bloody Sunday, bloody
What
Monday.
what was the thinking? That's not a fashion statement. Those are like for like.
No, my wife might leave me when I because I'm wearing
Oh
these.
man, yeah. We don't care as what our looks as we get older.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
efficiency and comfortability.
Sleep. It's all about sleep.
Well, speaking of efficiency, Dable, I don't like. What do you think about this though? Bringing him back. Let's just say if it is a dumpster fire, you're going to let these two guys pick the quarterback of the future, and they might not be here in a year. Let's say if they have 3 wins again next year, they're not bringing these guys back.
No, they're done. They're stepping into the biggest pressure cooker of all time.
So if
Mara, he's going to be lopping heads off if they
they
don't win
pick
the
a
first three
quarterback,
games.
what happens if they pick a quarterback? What usually happens in the first year of a quarterback, unless you're a phenom, you don't have that great of a season. You have 3 or 4 wins, and you build on that, right? So aren't they setting themselves up for failure if they bring in a Ward from Miami who needs work? He's not polished. They bring in a guy like that. He gets 4 wins. They're stuck in the same place. Then Dable and the GM are gone, and now you're stuck with a quarterback that nobody wanted.
That's how it goes. I mean, look at Gerard Mayo, right? Gerard Mayo. Drew Lock. Drew Lock is his guy. I mean, not Drew Lock. What's his name? Drake May.
Drake May, yeah.
Drake May is his guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's not supposed to win with that team. That team got they won 3 games. Okay, the team is shitty.
What
You don't.
happened was Robert Kraft got to a party early, right? He got to the party at like 8 o'clock at night. He grabbed the first decent looking chick that he could at 8 o'clock. Then 10 o'clock, when the party really starts happening, this knockout comes in and he's like, whoa. And she's like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I can have that. That's Vrabel. Okay. Vrabel came in and he's like, Vrabel's available, who's a good head coach, who is going to go there. Did you see
Didn't
my
you
post
tell
on
me he
Instagram?
was not a good head coach though?
What'd you say?
I suggested Vrabel for Jets head coach, and you
He fits
you
the Patriots a lot
you
better than
shut
us.
me down. You
No,
shut
no,
me
no.
down. Like
I didn't strike you down. I told you that he doesn't want to go to the Jets because he wants to go to the dude. He doesn't want to coach the Jets. That's why I said we're not going to get Vrabel.
again, he fits better with the
I
Patriots for
just
sure.
posted something today on Instagram. I want to sleep with what's her name?
Sydney Sweeney,
Sydney Sweeney, but she don't want to sleep with me.
Sweeney Murdy. You want to
Yeah, I
sleep with
want to
Sweeney
sleep with.
Murdy?
Yeah, absolutely. I want
Yeah.
a trio. I want a trio with Sweeney Murdy and Susan Wallman. I
Oh
want you to put us
gosh.
on a lazy Susan, and I just want you to turn around and see where the night goes.
What category does that fit under? Kitchen appliances?
Oh, I want to. Okay, yeah, thanks.
I don't know. Sorry.
The Sydney Sweeney thing. I want to sleep with her, but she don't want to sleep with me. The Jets want Vrabel. but Vrabel don't want the Jets, man. Nobody wants to go there. It's a
Here's
bad landing spot.
here's my Jets. Here's my Jets. What I'd like to see the Jets do. Rex Ryan's GM. Bring him in GM. He's fired up. He's got a foot fetish. He's mangled enough to take on the position. All right. He's got a little inconsistencies that you need in order to be associated with Jets front office. Right. Then bring in Brian Flores. Turn that team into a defensive powerhouse. Get your identity back. And then bring in a Chad Pennington type, like Sam Darnold again, 2.0 after Minnesota. And now you got the Jets of the early 2000s and the late 90s. Terrible quarterback, amazing defense, solid run game. Take that, Jets Giants Super Bowl. Let's go. Is that
Rex
the end of the
Ryan,
podcast?
Rex Ryan couldn't general man. Okay, so I'm going to address your statements one by one, and you better put your deflectors on.
I'm putting them on.
Rex Ryan is general manager. Rex Ryan can't even pick nuggets out of a buffet at Roy Rogers, okay? Let alone let him be a general manager. The man can't run his own life. He's in 2 feet, and nobody forgets the dumpster fire that was Rex Ryan when he left the Jets. Nobody remembers the dumpster fire that was Rex Ryan for the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills owner asked him to leave the building. That's how bad it got. This guy does not know the offensive side of the ball. As far as Brian Flores is concerned, now you're starting to pique my interest. Brian
I
Flores
love them.
has a chip on his shoulder. He coached in Miami. He's coached in the AFC East. We're missing out on Mike Vrabel. I want Pete Carroll, but he's aged out. Flores has done it. He's been a head coach. He's defensive oriented, which we're hell-bent. The Jets are hell-bent on getting a defensive-oriented coach. I don't want to go Aaron Glenn because Aaron Glenn, I don't want a guy with the first learning on the job. Even though he worked himself up from a scout from the Saints and he's a defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, cornerbacks coach, all of it. Great guy, great story, Jet, worked hard during his career. I want a finished product. I think Flores is the guy.
Flores, to me, if I associate anybody with the Jets, anybody's style, I like Flores with the
Yeah,
Jets.
I don't want to go back to Rex. Listen, man, Rex was good for his time and period. The only thing that would make me excited about Rex Ryan is his relationship with Woody Johnson, able to quell Woody Johnson's craziness.
And that's part of it. And
That is.
unfortunately, that's part of
Yeah,
the puzzle is you got to keep this guy in check. Everybody's afraid of him, or he just poo-poos everybody off. But Rex Ryan, he has the ability to rub his feet, calm him
yeah.
down,
He's
and
just following
allow
that.
him to make decisions that need to be made for the team. He cares enough because he saw his whole little rant on whatever sports
Yeah,
panel he does. But I don't know. I like that tandem. I like Rex Ryan GM because he can sway it.
Rex Ryan
I
can.
didn't even thinking about it from that perspective, but that's a good point you bring up.
I don't think he
And
can't
Brian
use.
Flores, do
I
whatever you
want
can to get Brian Flores.
general manager. They better be on the same page as whoever the fuck we get.
So they bring him in. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So I think Flores is the guy. Let's just say this. I posted on Instagram. I put Robert Kraft and Mike Vrabel as the 2 Raptors from Jurassic Park, and Mayo's like in the kitchen. He's getting hunted by Vrabel because that was an inside job. That happened to be together.
I mean, they didn't stand a chance.
I'm gonna hot take alert, Tom. Hot take alert about that whole situation with Mayo and Robert Kraft. I really don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I think it was a kind of a DEI thing. I think he was going to
No.
check hold on. Let me finish my statement. When he hired Gerard Mayo, okay, he knew that he was going into that season with a rookie quarterback with 0 roster and no defense, and we're going to be the worst team in the NFL. So he hires him anyway, knowing that. Now, what happens is if you bring a dude in of color, you bring him in, you check that DEI box because Robert Kraft, there is major whiffs and rumors in the NFL front offices that he likes white people a lot. So
He
what I'm
also like
saying is,
massages a lot.
did he bring it in, click the box just to check the box?
Nah.
And now knowing that Vrabel, he talks to Mike Vrabel. Him and Mike Vrabel are friends.
Yeah, well, that it could be that rather than him having to cover his bases with a DEI. Mayo, isn't he an expat?
He is. He's an
He
expat.
played for the Patriots. They fired, didn't they fire Belichick? What happened? They fired the coach and he came in.
Belichick, well,
He was asked to leave.
Belichick left. He was asked to leave. It's like when you get fired from a job and you're like, yeah, I quit that place.
Yeah, I mean that I think they let Mayo go too early, but I also do think that Vrabel and him do have a relationship, and for sure. I don't know if there's a DEI element to it. I have no idea,
I don't know.
but yeah,
You know what it is? I think I figured it out what it is. Tom. Remember that show I told you to watch, Clipped, with Al Bundy playing the owner of the Clippers?
yeah, I think so.
And he looks like Robert Kraft, and he's completely racist in the show. So maybe like subconsciously, I just think Robert Kraft's a big racist now.
Yeah, because you think you heard the tape of the
No,
owner of the
because he's like,
Clippers that
oh,
got ousted.
have you seen that show yet?
No, I have not
You were
seen it.
asking for a show to watch.
I know I'd fall asleep
Watch the first
in the
four
middle of
episodes.
there.
Keep
I
those
tried to
red
watch the
glasses
game
on.
last night. I tried to watch the game last night. I fell asleep
Well, you did
and
not
woke up
miss
at the end.
anything.
Yeah, I bet the Vikings too.
Yeah, keep those red glasses on. You'll be
Yeah.
fine. So I'm depressed as a Jet fan. So the season's over. Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers.
Do you want to see him come back?
No. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, I'm surprised
It
he
depends.
even.
There's a lot of variables. Cost.
Yeah.
Cost is number one because all he is going to be money. If you can bring him back for about 20, bring him back. Be like, Aaron, I'll pay you $1 million for every touchdown you throw. I'll give you 20. He threw 28 this year. Give him $28 million next year. Okay. 40, fucking, what's his name? Daniel Jones made $40 million last year. Give him 28. He would be a good stopgap bridge quarterback at this point. He just had theoretically the third best season of any Jet quarterback ever, Tom. There's only
I
been
mean,
one.
that's not saying
I
much.
know, I know it's not.
Mark Sanchez.
No, no, so the first one is Fitzmagic with 3110 and 3,800. Then you have Vinny Testaverde in 98. He had 26 and 7 with 34. There's only been one 4,000-yard passer in Jets history. His name's Joe Namath with 4,007. No, it's like the 3,000 hitter with the Yankees. Before Jeter did it, nobody ever hit 3,000 hits on the Yankees. So the Jets have not had a 4,000-yard passer. They've had one in 1967. So just keep that in the back of your mind, Ray Lucas. We think about quarterback performances in the Jets, in the history of the Jets.
So who do the Jets need?
Eric,
I'll rattle
man,
off. Let me rattle off. I got quarterbacks right now. Free agent quarterbacks.
you got it up.
I got it up.
I love,
I came
look at
prepared.
me.
I came prepared today. Hold on. Hold on. Let me put these on.
So, yeah,
All right. All right, you got Sam Darnold. You got Sam Darnold.
that's not
He's
happening.
he's in the pot. You got
You can't
Zach
put,
Wilson.
you
You got
can't
Trey
unboil. Hold
Lance.
on, hold on. Hold on, slow down. You can't unboil that egg with Sam Darnold, okay? That's gonna I'm just telling you from now on, that's gonna be my line about Sam Darnold. You can't unboil that egg, Tom. Go ahead.
Do you bring in Drew? Do you bring
Drew
in
Lock, yeah.
Drew Lock? You
On
love
the
him.
heels of a 4 touchdown performance, something's finally clicked.
You love him. Jones,
No. You want to talk about a
Justin,
racist. You want to
Justin,
talk about a racist.
Justin Fields.
Absolutely not. Hold on. Slow down. Do you know what a shit show Justin Fields would be on the Jets? Like,
Total shit show.
because like he has to mitigate risks with that guy and keep his mistakes down to a minimum. There will be nobody to keep the reins in on him, and he'll be able to do whatever he wants. Also, keep this in the back of your mind. Throw Mike Tomlin on that list of free agent quarterbacks, and we'll get to that. Let's put him at the bottom.
You mean free agent coaches?
Not free agent coaches. Let's just put him at the bottom of the list. Please, let's continue.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Please. I think you just made this list to watch me squirm. Yeah, it's awful.
No,
Hey,
this
you're in
is
the same boat, man. If you don't get Cam,
But this is what I'm saying. This is who's available.
I know.
This is who's available.
It's like Christopher's.
They're not supposed to go get a quarterback. The Giants aren't supposed to get a quarterback in the draft. Meanwhile, I'm looking at Marcus Mariota and Taylor Heineke as potential candidates to come in.
It's like
Not going to happen. Or
it's like
Jameis Winston. The guy's a great motivational speaker, but he throws the ball into the front row of the stands every time.
it's like Christopher from The Sopranos. I loved you in the have and have nots. It's when he goes to meet Ben Kingsley. Yeah, it's not good. But I would take a flyer on a Heineke. I like Heineke.
See, but I could see a
He's a
Heineke.
winner.
He's not a winner by any means. He's the perfect quarterback type, meaning
He's
skill wise, everything to
he's
be
a
the Jets
Gardner Minshew.
quarterback because the Jets don't thrive with quarterbacks. They thrive with good defenses, a solid run game, period. There's Chad Pennington was the guy. So maybe Jimmy G is the guy. Jimmy Garoppolo
Chad Pennington was the guy when he came out of Marshall, and he was like, "Yo, you're Jimmy
throwing
Garoppolo,
darts.
old and decrepit." No. So okay. So
Decrepit.
out of all the things you just mentioned to me, Aaron Rodgers is the best option.
Does the Jet fan base hate him
No,
enough for him
no.
to
I will
get
if
out
they
of
have a brain on their shoulders, they don't. Because the
Two
season
weeks
that
ago, everybody was calling for his head.
he just put up was probably the third best quarterback performance of any Jets quarterback in history at 41.
Yeah, but that's not saying much. You could have been the
I
quarterback
know
of
it's
the
not saying much,
Jets.
but that's our franchise, and that's what we have to. That's what we have to. You just said yourself, man. There's nobody else down that list that's going
There
to
is
give you
nobody on the list.
anything near that. When Mike Tomlin at the bottom of that list, that's why I wanted you to put it there. Was they just talked about trading him today?
Coach?
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never seen a coach trade.
I've never seen a coach trade either, but apparently that's in the works, or it's that because this would be 10 years in a row he hasn't won a playoff game. That's 10 years in a row.
The spread on that is 10.
I don't like that. Let's get into that.
I was
For the
look at
people
this
at
segue.
home, watch, and I bet you that we'll agree on everything. But just to let people know, me and Tom like what's called action. We like the action. We like to take some bets.
Too much.
We approach it differently. Okay, I'll explain the way I approach gambling, and then you can explain it the way that you approach it. I approach gambling where I want to turn $10 into $100. That turns me on. I believe that if you do 10 parlays for $10 a piece for $100, a whopping $100, if you hit on one of those, it pays for weeks of gambling in action, and all you need is one bet to win. So, Tom, how do you approach gambling?
I look for winners and I bet them straight up.
Yeah, okay, so that's Tom's always telling me bet heavy wood. So
Bet heavy wood.
we're in
Mr.
the total.
Lee. I'll never forget Mr. Lee, Canadian Asian man. Met him in Vegas one time. And he would put like 20K on these hockey games and he'd bet the money lines. And he would cake up. He was wearing Ferragamo shoes, he's a well-dressed Asian
Girl,
guy.
like, he's caking up. That means different things nowadays, Tom.
Is that right? I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, when you're caking up, that means you got a lot of chicks with some ass around you, Tom.
Is that what they say
Yeah, when
nowadays?
you're caking. That dude's caking up.
He probably was caking up after
It's
those big bets.
it's one and the same. If you got a lot of money, you're caking up.
You must be caking up.
I believe that's what they call a double entendre.
Is that what they say?
I don't know. I just make up words
I
now.
failed English.
I get a thesaurus and I make up words. Did you make your bets?
No, not yet. I do a lot of research. But
Oh.
you're right. I thought he was stroking out on me for a second.
No. I have a message board at the bottom here, at the bottom left. But okay, so we're gonna go through the NFL games and on the fly. I guess just pick them.
On the fly. On the
All right,
fly.
cool.
Let's
So
go. You tell me where to start. We can talk about it.
here I'm gonna go, and we're going on FanDuel, by the way. And by the way, we are not sponsored by FanDuel, but I love FanDuel, guys. Do you know that on FanDuel, it's probably the one without all the bells and whistles, it's without all the catches, and when they tell you how much you're actually going to deposit, Tom, They don't have any like trap doors or anything like that because a lot of people, they tell them like deals and stuff like that. They get them in the door and people deposit a lot of money and then they're stuck with money frozen in their account. So that's why I like to use FanDuel. So let's go on FanDuel. And okay, so the first one we got Saturday, 4 o'clock game. We got the Bolts. We call them the Bolts, Tom. LA Chargers, Houston Texans, at Texans. Chargers are favored. Chargers are giving the Texans 2.5 points at home. Who do you like?
I love the Chargers.
Yeah, I like the Chargers too. Did you watch their game last week? I mean, like yesterday?
I did not.
Okay,
No.
so what I was going to say is, I don't know. They kind of stumbled towards the finish line at the end of the year. They really didn't end on but the Texans have been
Disagree.
sleepwalking through that
Sleepwalking.
division.
I think that the Bolts kind of found their stride. They found their identity towards the end of the year. People are getting healthy. They got a good defense. They run first, and they got an unbelievable quarterback. So I like the Bolts to take that one, but that's going to be a great game. I think
Well,
that might be the best game of the first round.
I might, yeah, dude, that might be it. But like, think about this: if Vegas thinks that it's 2.5 points, oh, well, they're giving it on the road, man. They love doing that all year. Is giving the road team points, man. It's just I don't
I
like.
mean, here's what your audience should do right now. Take the Texans and run with it. If me and Eric like the Chargers, just bet the Texans all the way.
Yeah, just and also for the
Just
yeah
don't even touch it.
for the people at home, take the opposite of whatever we say. All right, so Los Angeles Chargers. I got the Chargers, and I parlayed it into college football. I got Notre Dame and Ohio State on the money line. I got Notre Dame game on the under, and I got the Ohio State game with the over. I don't think these two runaway trains are getting stopped by anybody, and it's going to meet in a collision course in the national championship game, Tom, where Ohio State's going to run away with it. I'm just waiting for
Who,
the old.
who's Ohio State playing?
I believe that they're going to play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the national championship game. They're playing in this round. They're playing Texas, and Ohio State's playing Texas, and Notre Dame against Penn State. Didn't know you're going to pick Penn State against Notre Dame, aren't you?
No, I like Notre Dame.
Okay, so Notre Dame, and then I think Ohio State's going to win that game because Texas is kind of fugazi,
I think
and
I
Penn
think the
State's beat
over.
nobody.
I think the over is good game.
I'm going under in the Irish, over in the Ohio State.
And yeah, I think it's going to be Ohio State. It's going to be Ohio State, Notre Dame, Notre Dame with their first national championship.
I think it's going to be Ohio. Listen, I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. But I'm just saying, betting with my brain, not my heart, Ohio State. You know what? This could be like the Baltimore Ravens when they won with Joe Flacco. I thought the Ravens were great. I bet against them every round of the playoffs, every single round of the playoffs. I've bet against the Irish every single round of the playoffs, and I'm going to continue to do it, Tom, so they win. Because I'm going to bet against them so they win a championship. I don't care. And I might drive to Indiana. It's only about 7.5 hours away. Next
Mississauga,
next game, we got Pittsburgh and the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. This is, bro,
10
this
points.
spread. We got nine.
10 points.
How much? You got 10 points. I got 9.5.
At last I checked, it was 10. I
Okay,
don't have it
so
now.
it's dropped to 9.5. But your buddy Eric here, your buddy Eric's got 10 points because I locked it in last night. I like to make also, I don't know if for the people at home making these bets, I like to lock in playoff games early in the week because that line seems to shrink. Like that, I believe that Steelers game is going to shrink. I don't think it's going to grow. I think it's going to go in the opposite direction. So if it's gonna shrink, I'll try to lock it in at 10. But dude, the Steelers have no shot in this game.
There's a shot, but I don't know. They need all the stars to align,
We just
right?
watched this game like 2 weeks ago, and the Ravens just diced them up, man. I don't know. It's
Lamar
they got.
Jackson. I want to see him win a championship.
How about this for a quarterback free agency for the Giants? I just got a really great idea. Steelers lose in the first round. They clean house. Russell Wilson goes to the Giants. Russell Wilson's always wanted to be the Giants quarterback. I think that's not a bad look for you guys.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Here's here's the
Hold on. You act like the Giants are a desirable team to go to.
They are the
No,
New
they're
York
not.
Giants.
Not anymore, man.
They're not the Jets. The
I know
Jets
they're
are a
not. I'm
dumpster
not.
fire. Nobody wants to go to the Jets.
This is me not comparing them to the. This is
Nobody
me
wants to
not
go to the
comparing
Jets.
them to the Jets.
Here's the deal. All right.
Wait,
Here's the deal.
who's the last big free agent that they signed?
Who the Giants? No
Who's
idea.
the last big free agent to come here?
I mean,
Who had the
that's a tough
Giants went
question.
and got out and got their man? Apparently, it was actually Russell Wilson when he was a free agent to go to the Broncos. That's when they wanted him. He's always wanted to be. So I don't think I kind of think
No.
I think you need to press the refresher button on this Giants thing that you got.
Here's what I would like.
They're not the Yankees. They're not the
Wait,
Yankees.
I don't know what that means.
What it means, and I'll explain. The Giants were a storied franchise. Tom Coughlin has left. Thank you. When Tom Coughlin has left the building, this franchise has been a joke ever since he left. Ever since
Yeah,
the
they've
new
been
stadium,
terrible.
they've been a terrible franchise since 2009. You guys haven't won anything since then. You guys have probably the worst record in the NFL. So you're acting like the Giants are still a
We were in
desire.
the playoffs. We won 2 years ago. We have one win in the playoffs.
You have a worse
We
record.
played
You
Philly
have a
in the
worse record than the Jets since 2009, dude. That's what I'm trying to break to you. I know you're in some kind of football denial right now.
they won a Super Bowl in 2011.
That's great. But it doesn't mean that they have
And what does that mean? What does that even mean? We're talking about a quarterback coming in and a desirable place to play. The Giants are a more
are not a
desirable
desirable
place to
place to play.
play than the Jets.
Yeah. You keep
Bar
comparing
none.
them to the Jets. I'm not
Bar none.
comparing them to the Jets.
They're not a dumpster fire of an organization. Now, if you say like, I don't know, what's one that you could point out that's like a total shit show?
Browns,
Yeah, Browns.
Browns,
Nobody's going to go there. I mean, but you got Malik Neighbors as a weapon.
but what,
Guy's
hold
a
on, but
monster. You have a number 3 pick in the draft.
I'm
If you
asking
go
you a
get
question.
Travis Hunter, now you have two huge pieces.
But you just showed your hand. I didn't bring up or compare them to the Jets. I am a Jet fan just saying this, so maybe that's why you said it. But what I think it is subconsciously, you're scared about becoming the Jets.
No, I don't think. I mean,
You hold on.
Giants
I
have
didn't
been
bring
bad
up
for
the
a long
Jets. I
time.
didn't bring up the Jets once. You go, we're not the Jets. That's what you said.
We're
I
not the
never
Jets.
said that. I know, but you went out of your way to say we're not the Jets. No one said this from this
Yeah,
end of
because people don't want to play for the Jets.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Jet fan. But what I'm saying to you
People
is,
want to play for the Giants.
that
The Giants shot themselves in the foot.
that's great. They are. They're a dumpster fire. They're the worst team in the league. Nobody wants to
They're
come here. They're
not.
not going
They're
to do
not a
anything.
dumpster
No
fire.
one, I said no one wants to go to the Giants anymore. And you acted like it's still a desirable place.
It
It's
is a
not.
desirable place. It is. They have pieces. They
What's
have.
desirable? The tax code that takes 75% of your money? The stadium that
You're
they
taking
play
it from
in?
that. I'm
Terrible?
speaking from just a franchise
I think
perspective.
you're speaking from from a fan's point of view. Like, we still think that people want to play in New York. That shit's out the window, bro. LeBron
Well,
James made
people
what?
want to play for the big time, and New York is the big time.
No, you can go to the Oklahoma. You can be Hartenstein, leave MSG, go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and make $37 million a year and not get taxed at all.
I get that perspective. I get it. I
If
get where
you're
you're
a
coming
dog,
from.
I get it too. If you're like somebody like Jimmy Butler who's getting traded, he would probably want to come to the Knicks.
But there's a
Or
winning philosophy that you could tell that there is a certain mystique about being a Giant that there's not
delusional.
with other teams. It's a history franchise.
It is. No,
It is.
absolutely it is. So are the
Wearing a
Bears.
Giants jersey
Yo, dude,
and taking the Giants to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl as a Giant is different than taking another team to the Super Bowl and winning as another team.
I'm just gonna disagree. I'm gonna politely disagree with
I
you on that.
Those are my
because
feelings. You could
and I
poo-poo them all you
appreciate. I
want.
just
That's
think
how
that
I
you're
feel.
you're you're a fan, and I do it
What are
with the
you, a GM? Of course I'm a fan.
I do it with
There's no other thing that
no,
I
no.
am
I'm
is
just saying.
I'm a
Well,
fucking fan. Of
yeah,
course.
no, no. Where I'm not. I'm saying you're not looking at it in the middle of the road. You're looking at through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, literally. Oh, that we didn't intend on that, folks, as he steps away to laugh at his own
No, no,
joke.
no. The rose-colored glasses. I didn't intend on. No, I do the same. I do the same thing with the Yankees and the Knicks. I sit there, and I go, how can somebody not want to fucking play in MSG, man? It's the mecca of basketball. How can somebody not want to play in Yankee Stadium? It's the fucking Yanks, man. It's the Bronx Bombers. Been around since 1918 because New York is a cesspool. You moved out of it yourself. It has the highest tax code. The quality of life is dog shit. The personality of people here is terrible. The press is awful. They're literally in your toilet bowl when you go to take your morning piss.
Yeah,
And
but
but Tom
let me
and
tell you
Eric
this,
love
but
New York.
no, but that's just because we're Mongoloids, right? There's just New York Mongoloids that love it just for because they have good pizza or whatever it is.
Bing
Like,
bong.
but the fact is, with these high level, high caliber athletes, these alphas you would call them, right? They want the biggest challenge. They want to be on the biggest stage. They want to win, and they want to win on the biggest stage. And where is that? That's in New York, my
Guess what?
friend.
I got two words for you. Jalen Brunson. And let's stop
Jalen
talking
Brunson's
about
the
the
man.
losers. Let's you know what? One thing that we do agree on, Tom, is how much of the winners the Knicks are right now. And this team, and
They need a
maybe I
bench.
spoke too soon, folks.
They need a bench. I love them. I watch
They
them.
need
I
a bench
watch them
so
every
much.
night. They need
I
a
agree.
bench really bad.
So I looked at some of the stats last night on the old ESPNs on NBA. I got them up here. So the Knicks lead in a lot. So do you know how where do you think the Knicks are in team rebounding?
Number one.
They're like sixth. Who do you think's number one in rebounds a game?
Rebounds game. I'm gonna have to go with the Boston Celtics.
Okay, well, what's called team rebounds is Knicks are sixth. I'm talking about individual rebounds a game. Karl Anthony Towns.
I was off. I think everybody and their mother was wrong about Cat. This guy turned it up a notch.
Yeah,
He's
because
he's a monster.
you weren't really feeling the trade, and I was like, and you told well when you described, I have to admit, in your defense, Tom, because with basketball, I'm slowly getting back into basketball because I kind of took a hiatus when the whole league turned into an N1 mixtape. But Tom, I call up Tom and I'm like, Tom, what's the deal with this guy? And Tom was like, he's pretty much a point guard in a center's body, and he's a little soft. And before he got here, he was. And the way you described him was the way he was on Minnesota. But it seems like something clicked in this guy.
He's comfortable in the Knicks jersey. Something about playing at MSG.
The bodega cat.
Telling you,
Yo, he
he's
loves it.
from Jersey. He's from
Yeah.
Jersey.
I got a little he sounded a little spicy to me, so I got a little concerned, but man, that boy can
I
play.
mean, his zest factor is through the roof.
Is through the
But
he's like,
yeah,
"Hey guys, guess how many rebounds I got tonight?" And it's like, and
yeah,
he's like, "But do you see? Listen, man. As soon as he steps in between the paint, it's on like Donkey Kong. Okay,
yeah. Listen, whatever he's got to do on his own time, that's his own business. But as long as he's playing good in a Knicks jersey, I'm good.
fourth in the league in average points per game. Jalen Brunson. Ninth is Karl Anthony
Baller,
Towns.
baller.
Individual rebounds a game. Josh Hart, ninth in the
He's
league.
an unbelievable offensive rebounder.
Points, you got Brunson, you got Cat, OG, and Miguel Bridges all in the top 50.
Say Miguel,
Yeah, what's his first name? Mikel?
Mikel,
You're going to act
Miguel
like that's a
Bridges. That's the
fucking leap.
guy.
You're going to
That's the
act like
guy.
that's a
That's
leap.
Miguel Bridges is the guy that I don't
First of
know.
all,
You,
I don't
you
even
know at
think
the
his name's
bodega.
Mikel. It's Mikal Bridges.
All right, so it's not Miguel. So we could agree
No,
on that.
no, no.
Yeah, it's not Miguel. Good.
What
We
about
agree.
okay? So then you have Miguel Cabrera averaging 13 a game.
Yeah, we're bouncing all over the place.
You got you have Carlos Baerga with 11 rebounds a day.
Yeah, you got Steve Sachs.
Yeah, he's sexy boy. So the Knicks are all up there, top of stats. Did you watch the Thunder game? You didn't watch the Thunder game?
I definitely watched the Thunder game.
That's a team. That's a
The Thunder, they're amazing.
they
They're
and
they're
you know what's
they're fun to watch.
they are really fun to watch.
They
And
play
what's
defense like nobody's business.
they're the total. They do play the good defense. They're the actually before we get to OKC, what I meant to bring that up, that whole winded fucking thing about stats was that the Knicks are great on defense. They're third in team defense, and and I think they're ninth in the league in other defensive in the biggest defensive categories. But OKC, yeah, plays defense and the Knicks they're getting a lot of shit for not playing defense, but they actually, on paper and statistically, they are playing defense. But OKC does the opposite of what the Knicks do. Tibbs runs these guys 36 minutes a night. OKC runs these guys at 11, 12-minute clips, and they like to keep their guys fresh and run 11 guys instead of just running six. So I like to actually watch that aspect of the way that OKC runs their game because it's fresh. So the other day I heard, by the way, the reason Tibbs runs these guys so much, he doesn't practice them. They just do
Who
walkthroughs.
who
Tibbs.
Tibbs? Yeah, I mean he plays them enough. I mean everybody scrutinizes the minutes that he plays these folks, and I mean at this point their bench, if they're going to want to compete and beat the big dogs, I mean we saw it against OKC. They just can't hang late in the game. Karl Anthony Towns, he looked rough. I also took the over. I like to play the bet these player combos, points, assists, and rebounds, and I had it
You
at
messed around with those?
yeah all the time, and I had it at like 42, 41 and a half. So he got to 38, right, with 8 minutes left in the game. Totally gassed out. I ended up hitting it, but I hit it like he got to like 44. And
Every
he was at
time.
38 with 7 minutes left in the game. He was so gassed out. Precious Achiuwa is not the guy. He is soft as TCBY, and we need to bring in Mitch Robinson needs to come in, or we need to trade him and get a big man that could actually do
They're
some damage.
they're looking at what the fucking century was I just about to go to? I was going to call them the Bullets. The Washington Wizards center they're looking at. I was going to call them the Bullets, Tom. What?
Ooh, Valanciunas?
I don't know. He's big, he's white, and he's huge.
Yeah, Valanciunas. He's good. He's
I
really
know.
he beat.
I like him a lot.
But
Throw
they need more. They need more. They need more pieces.
If Mitchell Robinson, but that's the thing, Mitchell Robinson isn't healthy. Dude, they knew this when they drafted him from Vanderbilt. He didn't even play there. He didn't even suit up for one game. He just went into the NBA draft. And if he can give us 50 games, not even 50, if he can give us 35 games, bring him back when if they're going to make the playoffs, make sure he's healthy for the playoffs, like Giancarlo Stanton. Just get that guy healthy and upright in the playoffs. That will make this team so much more dynamic, bro.
It'll give him some protection and give a cat some time for a breather.
Because there is no breathing room for them right now. But listen, the Knicks are right on schedule for what they were supposed to be doing this year. You
I
saw
love it.
them; they were trying to get the formula, they were trying to get the right mix of guys, and just get the way to play with each other was different. The pick and roll off of Karl Anthony Towns, everything's going to be coming through him and Brunson. So watching them gel has been fucking awesome. But no one's getting past the Celtics, dude.
I don't know. Celtics lost yesterday to the.
It's gonna be bananas.
I can't wait. That's one of my favorite times of year. Everybody talks about March Madness. I am an NBA playoff guy.
NBA playoff
Love
is
it.
a month long of greatness. But you know what's slowly starting to be? I mean, I got to admit, is not slowly, it's up there now, is the college football playoff.
I like the format.
The 12 team, I am locked. Like, this is something to look forward to because now, the Jets, so maybe I'll just be a hardcore Notre Dame Irish football, college football fan.
Giants fan. Desirable.
You know what, though? I got to admit, you know what is desirable?
The logo.
Nah, your logo is awful. That's
Yeah,
a
I'm not gonna.
terrible logo.
I'm not gonna argue that.
Like, I would like them to go back to the like the Danny Cannell giant uniforms.
Yeah, those are sick.
I think those are dope. Well, how could you let Saquon Barkley go out of your thing? Are
He
we getting
fucked them.
anybody for the Yankees before we leave for today? I've heard a lot of things about the second baseman on San Diego. Luis
Arias.
Alvarez, I believe his name is, and then Gavin Lux from the Dodgers as second base options. I heard both of those names put around. He's the guy that hits 330, 340.
All I know with Pete Alonso is
Getting
he's hurting for squirting
a squirt 10.
big time.
He okay, so this just in, Pete Alonso's the Giants are desirable. Pete Alonso's hurting for a squirting.
Yeah, big
Pete
time.
Carroll's going to a nursing home, okay?
Yeah.
And Tomlin's getting traded to the Jets
And
and
one more.
go
One more.
heavy on the Chargers, but we didn't finish our picks. I'll go through the picks and
We'll
then
go
we'll
quick. Quick picks quick. All right, here we go. We got Chargers. We agree on that.
Baltimore Ravens going to cover and win. Blowout. End of Mike Tomlin
Agree.
era. The
Agree.
Buffalo Bills, money line, I got against the Broncos. I do like the Broncos getting 8.5 points in that game.
I do like the Broncos getting 8.5
Take the
points too.
points with the Broncos in that game. The Philadelphia Eagles, take a money line. Don't mess around with the points in that game. And also the Packers, I don't know. Jordan Love, they scare me, but they're done. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Disagree. I
I
like the
am
Packers.
on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bandwagon. It's official. I am locked and loaded. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans. I am in. That's where I'm going to drink myself to death when I turn 80 down in Tampa Bay. So I am just getting myself primed for be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan for the rest of my life from about 80 on. Then we got the Los Angeles Rams beating the Minnesota Vikings. You heard me. Vikings are getting dipped out in the first round.
I disagree. I like the Packers. I like Washington, and I like the Vikings.
Every time the Minnesota Vikings have a good team with about 13 wins, they show up to the first round of the playoffs. They drop their trap and drop a heater in the middle of the logo. And not to mention, they're on the road. Your Giants, your amazing destination franchise, beat them in the first round with a subpar team. We all knew that team was a joke. We
Come
knew the
on.
Giants when they beat them before they lost to the Ravens in the Super Bowl in 2001. The Vikings showed up, who were the greatest show ever on turf. They blew it. Who was the other guy? Well, not Trevor Simeon. Who was their quarterback? That
Who?
one year they had 13 wins, the Minnesota Vikings. He came out of nowhere. I just mentioned him on the show the other night. He came out of nowhere and had 13 wins. They lost in the first round that year. They had 13 wins. Some reason they've had 4 seasons when they've had lights out years. They lose in the first round, bro.
Yeah, but they got their guy now.
No, they
They
don't.
got future Super Bowl champion, New
You're
York
just
Jet
saying
head
that
coach.
because you hope he performs so they get J.J. McCarthy from your Michigan Wolverines and you
Yeah,
get your
no.
quarterback.
I think I don't know. I think JJ McCarthy will be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings one day. Maybe not next year. I don't think Sam Darnold's a guy because I think he's the guy for the
I
Jets.
don't think they believe in him.
They don't. I wouldn't believe in him either. He's kind of suspect.
He's really suspect. He was a Jet.
But I do like Brian Flores as the Super Bowl champion New York Jet coach.
Super Bowl champion. He's going to get us a Super Bowl?
He's getting you a Super Bowl.
Brian Flores is going to win the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Sign me up. I'm cool with that. I love
Done
yeah, I
deal.
love this show. This is great. We're going to win the Super Bowl. This
The
just in,
glass.
folks. The Jets win the Super Bowl with Brian Flores in how many
I could
years?
see in the future with these glasses. I'm telling you.
That's awesome. And guys, you
Uh,
can see us on Instagram at New York Minute. That's NEWYRKMIN. Also, this show you're seeing right now is on Spotify. We have video and the podcast audio option of the New York Minute podcast. Anywhere in that smoke wagon you call the internet, you can find me, and then you can find Tom, you can find Chris, and you can find this bandwagon of fans,
Just
air
guys that
quotes.
don't know a thing. They just talk about sports.
Well, maybe one side of the screen does that, but the other side of the screen actually brings you some good stuff.
You
So
paused there
we'll
for a
talk to you
second.
later, guys. Bye bye.